Alts, a major aspect of Lost Ark, directly encouraged by the game. It's something that benefits a player with them versus someone without them extremely. We're talking double, triple, or quadruple rewards and so on, based on how many extra characters you play and how well you do maintain them. This increases the pace at which you progress and overcome the current barriers of your main, while also letting you try a variety of playstyles, which is, where Lost Ark shines the most. At this stage of the game, we are a week after Lost Ark's head start launch. Many people should be max by now, or reaching the point where, hey, an alt should be considered. I'm sure everything I just said sounds good, but how is it actually working? When should you have an alt? Because, to be honest, you shouldn't have an alt yet in certain cases. So hi guys, welcome back to Rage Gaming, my name is Hollow, and today we're of course talking about alts, so let's begin. What is the actual benefit of having an alt character, or even multiple? At the core of it, having an extra character allows you to bypass the daily and weekly lockouts that you experience in the endgame. Everything you do has some kind of limit on it to prevent you skyrocketing to the highest power level overly quick. Simply having a second character lets you run, say, another set of Chaos Dungeons, another set of Guardian Raids, another set of Abyss Dungeons, another set of Una's tasks, and so on, while reaping the rewards of that. The benefits of an alt then should be obvious. You gather resources and currency at double the rate of a single character, and that increases per alt that you have and manage this consistently. Plus there's even systems in place that reward you for missing a day of dailies to make this even easier. Your account is actually known as your roster, so you have your roster of characters owned. Your roster has a universal storage, universal currency, universal unlocks like mounts and pets and so on. So that huge aspect of completion you won't actually lose when playing on a second character, which isn't something we always see in MMOs. On top of all of that though, I think it's just really fun. Like my Deadeye and Deathblade, they have completely different playstyles. I approach PvE and PvP in totally different ways, and that makes for more variety and fun in my daily gameplay. We're talking about a game that in my opinion is strongest with its class and combat design, so by playing more characters I get to engage with what I think is the best part of the game. The fact that you're rewarded for doing so, well, that makes it even better. So yeah, it's all pretty damn good. Question is, should I make an alt right away? No, actually, you shouldn't. When should you make an alt? I think this is super simple. You create your first alt and begin managing it and your main at the same time. Only when you're able. In your first days of level 50, you have so much to do beyond literal dailies and weeklies. There's countless islands with engravings, stat boosts, and the main story itself to work on. There's your awakening story, PvE and PvP builds to set up and manage, runes to collect, the very basis of your character setup, which has nothing to do with a daily lockout. Ignoring all of that just so you can run another set of Chaos Dungeons every day is a waste of your time. It's less effective, it's less logical, and it might even overwhelm you. So keep it simple. Have you reached the point where, you have like your engravings unlocked, you've hunted down those important chain quests available, you've set up your character in a way you're confident that, hey, it's stable now, and at that stage, that's where it's kind of ready to have an alt or even multiple. Okay. So, assuming you're ready then, it's time to talk about how to effectively use an alt, because you can be very wasteful if you're not careful. There are currencies and unlocks that are actually character specific, not roster or universal. So if you have a dedicated main, you certainly don't want to consume a character specific unlock on an alt. But let's just keep it simple for now. I advise these things. First, have your alt ideally in the same tier of content as your main long term. To maximize the rewards being funneled to your main. Now, this is certainly not viable right away. You want to manage this properly. Personally, I have my main and he's almost at tier 2 content, and I have my alt, my Deathblade, which is dead on eye level 340 to reach the level 2 of Chaos Dungeons, the level 2 of Guardian Raids, as well as being able to do the Abyss Dungeon weekly content as well. That way I can gather upgrade materials at a higher rate than if I was just, I don't know, eye level 302, and I can steadily work on things like engravings and cards as well via that daily content. It won't actually be until I reach tier 2, where I actually need to bring my alts up a level to push higher content. The resources being sent to my main must be improved as well at some point to match the new demand of that new tier of content. So in essence, ask yourself this: is my alt or alts strong enough to clear the content that rewards the resources my main currently needs? If no, then you need to work on making your ult stronger. You should be certain which materials you can actually send to your main and which ones you can't as well. Harmony shards are vital to upgrading your gear, right? But unfortunately those are character bound, for example. Some materials you get from certain content would normally be able to be sent over, but these are going to be bound, tying that to your character as well. So any and all bound materials on an ult should be used to upgrade that ult. Here's an extra important tip as well. Make sure your ult is in a guild of any kind, and then is contributing once per day in exchange for the Bloodstones. Bloodstones could be traded with a Bloodstone trader in any city for things like, hey, XP potions and silver, but more importantly, literal upgrade materials which you can target and pick if you happen to be missing a specific one. This is extremely useful, and it takes only 1 second each day to do. Finally, I want to tell you about the rest XP known as the daily bonus. If you have a character who didn't complete its daily Chaos Dungeon or Guardian Raid or Una's task that day, it will build up a daily bonus. We can track this in the various menus depending on which content we're looking at, but I think it's really obvious when we look at Una's tasks. As you can see, we have this bar at the top that fills up and then eventually caps out. This daily bonus is spent whenever you actually do your daily content. In exchange, it's going to give you double rewards. So as you can see, when I do it with these harmony shards, right, my reward would normally be 580, but because I used my daily bonus, because I didn't do it yesterday, I actually got 1,160. That's huge. So if you don't have time to do your dailies every day on, say, 5 ults, then you should be using the daily bonus as effectively as possible. To keep it simple though, that means just do your dailies once every 3 days, resulting in 66% of the rewards of someone who's doing it every single day on all of those ults. So yeah, you are getting less than doing it literally every day on every character, but you know, we can't all play all day every day. And this rest XP really helps you still reap the rewards effectively. Oh, and when it comes to actually sending materials, you know, currency or whatever it is you're sending to your main, just be aware of the 2 types of mail. To send mail to your main or ult, you need to go to a mail carrier in a town or city. Then choose write a letter, put in the character name, and attach whatever it is you're sending. From there, you can also choose regular or express mail. Express is way more expensive, but you can loot from the mail tab at the top of the screen if you do it that way from anywhere. Meanwhile, regular mail requires that that character goes to a physical mailbox to get it, compared to from anywhere, so not that big of a deal considering it's way more expensive. Okay, with all of that vital information out of the way, a common question that will come up is, which class should I pick for an ult, and also how many ults should I actually have? First up, have as many ults as you can manage without it being an issue. If that means you only have 1 ult or 2, no problem. If that is as many as you can possibly imagine, then I would say just have 6 characters per server. Certain rewards like gold is actually capped at 6 per week, so you can actually only accept it 6 times on that server every week. Therefore, 6 is the magic number for ults, assuming you actually have the time to manage all of that. As far as classes, I would say pick classes that mesh well with what you enjoy and can actually manage. You know, something that's overly complex might be a bad idea, but ultimately, you know, pick and play whatever you want. Some players who are hard grinders actually have just 1 class 6 times, so they don't have to learn a new build or playstyle at all and do it purely for the efficiency. I think that's completely fair enough, but to me, that's a waste of the great variety of the class combat in Lost Ark. Our last topic for this video is the Power Pass. You may have heard of the free boost, or even multiple that you get for reaching level 50. This is true. They're giving away not 1, but 2 level 50 boosts. The requirement is that you've actually completed the North Vern content, which means you've done the main story all the way up to Vern, and then beyond that in North Vern to the dungeon. After we do that, you actually unlock Abyss dungeons at the same time, and then you get the quest Elaine's Gift. When you hand that in, you actually get a mail in-game with the voucher that we consume, and when used, it'll unlock our first Power Pass, which can be used at the character on the character select screen. When we use this, it'll load us into the Adventurer's Path, which is sort of a recap and replay of important story moments. You can skip that, but I think it's worth doing because you get a unique pet and also a battle item chest, which is, you know, important consumables that we amass when leveling normally. But skip it if you really don't want to. You will want to be certain which class you're about to boost though, because they're only ever going to give you 2 of these. I like to make a class that I'm tempted by and then play it until level 20, which is only like a couple hours of gameplay. By that point, I feel like I have a good idea of the class, and if that's going to be a class I would use the boost on. But there you you have it. That is everything important about alts in Lost Ark and why you should be considering them about now. Just do it when you're ready and when you can actually manage it. Personally, I think I'm going to be able to run up to 3 sets of dailies every day without an issue, but that's probably going to be my max. If I ever had like 6 characters, I'm certain that I would be using that rest XP to only ever run things every 3 days. What are your plans though? Is there anything that you think we should have mentioned in this video that we didn't? Drop a comment. If you have enjoyed the video or found it useful, please hit like so I can keep making videos like this. But until next time, I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.